Welcome students. I am Atik Aman. This is your functional English class and the topic of today is grammar. Grammar, the basic definition of grammar is the rules and regulation of a language. Any type of language, when a foreign learner or second language learner, they have to study grammar first of all. But grammar consists of two type of thing. One is descriptive grammar and second is prescriptive grammar. Now, descriptive grammar is something which doesn't need any type of rules and regulation, but it is for native language learner. Suppose if our language is Urdu or Pahari language, then we don't know about the grammar of Urdu language, we don't know about the grammar of Pahari language, but we know how to speak Urdu language, we know how to speak Pahari language very well. This is what that we have inbuilt grammar structure, and there is a discrepancy between grammar and linguist, that whether grammar is important or not. Mostly people say that grammar comes later and language comes first. Suppose if there are so many language or dialects who have no any type of grammar, but if somebody wants to make the rules and regulation of Pahari language, then he will make a new grammar. He will test, he will investigate in society that what type of language speakers are there. So another thing is prescriptive grammar, and especially regarding English language and your functional English course, this is related with prescriptive grammar and also integrated skills. Prescriptive grammar means that traditional category of language, those are called parts of speech. Part of speech are the traditional category or regarding prescriptive grammar, and this is your course content. You can say this is your first lecture, and these are the course content and these integrated skill, and there are 4 skills of language learning. First of all, you can say that a listening skill, a reading skill, writing skill, and speaking skill. 2 are receptive speak skills and 2 are productive skills. Mean receptive skills and productive skills. Receptive skills mean you receive something, mean when a child born, first of all he listens, he observes, he listens his mother, he listens his father, he listens his brother, he listens society, and he listens each and every person who is around him or her. Then he receives something. So listening is receptive skill, and same is the case with reading. From reading you receive something, you get something. After that, from reading, listening and reading are receptive skills, and writing and speaking, these skills are productive skills. On the basis of listening and reading, you produce writing and speaking. This is the natural way of learning a language. Suppose when a child born, he does not know what he has to speak, what he has to say. He can utter some type of, you can say, signals, and he can give some type of gestures. But he doesn't know that how to ask for milk, how to utter some type of, you can say, voices. But he can cry, he can weep, and he listens. And this is the natural way of learning a language. Suppose a baby is born in Rawalakot, and he brought up in America. Then he will learn English language, and he will speak English language. And if he will not find any type of native speaker of Padi language or Urdu language, then he cannot be able to speak Padi language. Rather, he will find very much easy to speak English language. So, brought up and environment. Brought up and environment is very much necessary for learning language. But for second language learner or those who are not native language learner, they have to listen, they have to read, and these are receptive skills, and after that they will write and speak. Same is the case with in our school and colleges, that when a person learns language, he first learn grammar. But this course of functional English is little bit different from traditional English. How it is little bit different from traditional English? That it involves you to learn listening and speaking also. Listening and speaking also. You can say that in our classroom, when we learn English from, you can say, nursery to graduation level, then grammar mean learning about the language. Grammar mean learning about the language. Mean we can learn about the language, what type of parts of speech are there, what type of tenses are there, whether it is present tense, past tense, future tense, whether it is active voice or passive voice, whether it is in direct or indirect. But what we lack, that in schools and colleges, more emphasis is on reading and writing. So from reading is a receptive skill, and writing is productive skill. But we totally ignore listening and speaking. Listening mean the important factor of in our school learning or college learning is just reading and writing. We will read, we will write, and according to the basis of reading and writing, we will get grade. But there is no any type of oral exam is there. That's why listening and speaking skills are totally neglected, totally ignored. So for this purpose, according to the methodology of English, functional English, you have to listen, you have to speak. After that, there is listening in your course also, and speaking is in your course also, and we will study about traditional category also. So these are just introduction of grammar, that there is descriptive grammar, prescriptive grammar. Prescriptive grammar is prescribed by, you can say, grammarian, that what is right or what is wrong. Mean that if a sentence is according to the rules and regulation of language, then it is grammatically correct. And if a sentence is against the rules and regulation of grammar, it means your sentence is incorrect. So, apart from descriptive and prescriptive grammar, there are integrating skills which we have studied, that there are 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, speaking. 2 skills are productive skills, 2 skills are receptive skills. Receptive skills are reading and listening, and productive skills are speaking and writing. So we come forward and we go toward parts of speech. These are traditional categories regarding parts of speech. You can say that first part of speech is noun. And the traditional definition of noun is the name of person, place, or thing. That noun is the name of person, place, or thing, but noun can be defined as it is a naming word. So each and everything has name. Suppose I have a marker, this is noun. My name is Atiq Ahmad, I am a noun. This is Rostam, this is a noun. This is, you can say, duster, this is noun. This is whiteboard, this is noun. This is a room, this is noun. And this is door, this is fan. Each and everything which has name is called noun. Another thing of noun, about noun, is there are different types of noun are there. So we will give here little bit introduction about the noun. Suppose there is a proper noun, and second definition is common noun. Common noun is defined as, you can say, as its name shows, that common person, place, or thing. So if we say common person mean man, common noun. But it will become proper noun when we give it a name. Suppose then that will be a specific name, means specific or proper thing, and proper name of person, place, or thing is called proper noun. Suppose if we say Ali, Ali is a proper noun, and man is a common noun. If we say chair, chair is a common noun. And if we say principal chair, principal chair is a proper noun. And so each and everything which is common, that is common noun, and each and every the noun which tells us about something which is very much proper, that is called proper noun. So next type of noun is the material noun. Material noun, anything which is made up of matter, is called material noun. And material noun, any type of, you can say, what type of material is used in this marker, what type of material is used in this cloth, and what type of material is used in this building. So these type of material, these are called material noun. You can say all type of solid, liquid, 3 state of, you can say, matter: solid, liquid, gases. These are called material noun. Then there is a collective noun. Collective noun is a type of noun which gives us singular meaning, but it content hidden meaning is plural, but it is used as a singular, just like army. We can say that our army is very brave. Army is a collective noun. Army means there is no any type of single person. There are many persons, but it is a collective noun. Same is the case with police. Our police is very brave. Committee, jury, class. So these are the things which are collective noun. Another type of noun is abstract noun. Abstract noun is that type of noun which have no any type of physical presence, just like democracy, just like honesty, just like love, which has no any type of physical presence. That is abstract noun. So we will revise it little bit, that noun is the name of person, place or thing, and any type of thing which exists here, and it is a naming word also. So proper noun is the name of proper thing, place, proper person, proper thing. And common noun is the name of common person, place or thing. Same is the case with there, that man is common, chair is common, alley is proper noun, man is common noun. Chair is common noun and principal chair is proper noun. Material noun, anything which is made up of matter, is called material noun. Solid, liquid, gas, these are very much common. And collective noun, that which gives us the message of collection, that there is an army, there is a police, there is a committee, there is a jury, there is a class. And abstract noun is which has no any type of physical presence. That is called democracy, honesty, love. These are the type of noun. So second type of parts of speech is called pronoun. And first of all, let me explain about pronoun, that it is used instead of noun. May mean that what is noun? Noun is the name of person, place or thing, and it is a naming word. Suppose if I say an example of noun, Ali is a noun. If I say Ali is a brave boy, then we will say that Ali is a student. Third sentence is Ali is a player. So here Ali is a noun, here Ali is a noun, here Ali is a noun. But to avoid repetition, we will put pronoun here, and in place of Ali we will put here he. Here we will put he. So Ali is a noun, Here, Ali is a brave boy. Here, instead of Ali, we will put he, and we can understand that he is used instead of Ali, so he is a pronoun. Here also, he is used instead of Ali, so Ali, he is a pronoun. So to avoid repetition, we will put here he, then he is a pronoun, and the definition of pronoun will be pronoun which is used instead of noun, which is used in place of noun. You can put any word here. That pronoun is a word which is used instead of noun. Pronoun is a word which is used in place of noun. Now here we will give the examples of pronoun that you have understood that there are three types of pronoun. One is subjective pronoun, objective pronoun, possessive pronoun. Subjective pronoun is, you can say, according to the traditional category, first person singular, first person singular. So if I am talking, I am first person singular, then we will put here I. I is first person singular, and the plural form of I is we. If here we are two or more than two people, then there will be we. This is first person singular, and this is first person plural. Then second person singular is, suppose if I am talking to you people, then I is first person singular and you are second person singular, you. And same, you is second person singular also, and you is second person plural also. This is also singular and this is also plural. Then third person singular, and if you and me, we are here, we are talking about somebody else, then that person is called third person. Now third person singular, third person singular is he, she, he and she, and the third person plural is they. Third person plural is they. So I, we, you, he, she, they, these are pronouns, these are subjective pronouns. And now there is an objective pronoun, and on the basis of this subjective pronoun, we will make objective pronoun. And when we will study active voice, passive voice, when we will study these, that if I say that I am writing a letter, or I write a letter, then there will be a letter is written by me. A letter is written by me, and this me is objective pronoun. From we write a letter, and a letter is written by us. You write a letter is written by you. Same is the case with here. And he, she, and he writes a letter, and a letter is written by him, and she writes a letter is written by her. Him and her are objective pronoun, and they write a letter is written by them. T-H-E-M, them. So these are subjective pronoun, these are objective pronoun, and possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun means which shows possession, that this is my book, these are our book, this is your book. Her will be remain her here, and these are them will be changed into their books. So pronoun, first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, third person plural. These are subjective pronoun, these are objective pronoun, these are possessive pronoun. So another pronoun, but that is not included in your course, but I just little bit give you example, that demonstrative pronoun, which point out something that these are demonstrative pronoun, and you can say this and that is singular and these and those are plural. Demonstrative pronoun. And a reflexive pronoun, also there is a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun mean if there is my, then myself, ourselves, yourself, herself, their selves. So this is a little bit introduction of pronoun, and these are included in your course, and so I think each and everything is crystal clear for you, because it is functional English, it is not traditional English. So again, further there will be a topic of listening in your course. So I want to make you clear that you can listen something. So I am using direct methodology. I am not using grammar translation method here. Now I will move forward that verb. Verb is an action word. Action word. Verb is an action word. It shows if I am teaching, I am doing some work. Here I am teaching, I am coming, I am going. So these all things, I am standing, I am looking, I am seeing, I am writing, I want to write here. Okay, these are writing and you are listening. I am speaking. You are doing work. I am doing work. I am teaching. You are learning. And these steady teaching, learning, going, coming, these are action words. So there are three categories. You can say verb and form of verb. You can say there are three type of form of verbs. Mean, go, went, gone. These are called irregular verb. Those type of words which are not followed by ed, that are called irregular verb and regular verb. Regular verb are those type of verbs which are followed by ed. How it is followed by ed? That if I say cook, cooked, cooked, look, looked, looked. So those followed by ed are called regular verb, and those are not followed by ed are called irregular verb, just like go, went, gone, see, saw, seen. So these are verb, action verb. And another type of parts of speech is adverb. Adverb which gives us more information about verb. Mean he run. Adverb. Now adverb which gives us more information about verb. Verb, what is verb? He runs. He runs very fast. Very fast is more information about verb. Run is verb. What is very fast? More information, or which gives us about the state of verb. Verb is runs, very fast is more information. So adverb which gives us more information about verb. This is the definition of adverb. Now again there is a preposition. The most difficult thing to learn something in English grammar is preposition. Preposition is something else that which helps us in complete the sentence. Suppose I am going to school. This to is preposition. There are many more prepositions. Suppose preposition is in, on, above, into. These are preposition. And if we talk about the use of in, then here we can say that when something is surrounded by something, or when something is surrounded by someone. Suppose I am surrounded by these walls, so I can say that I am in this room. This is marker. If I say my pocket, my marker is in my pocket. So these are things that which are surrounded by this. In is used when something is surrounded by something, or when something is surrounded by someone. So next is on. On is when something is touching the outer surface when something is touching the outer surface of something. So we can say that this marker is on the dice. I am running, or I am walking on the floor. This ball point is on my hand. So when this ball point is touching the outer surface of my hand, then we will use on here. Next is above. Above mean when something is not touching the outer surface of something. When something is not touching the outer surface of something, then we can say that this ball point is above the marker, or the fan is above us. So when something is not touching the outer surface of something, then above will be used. Into, there is a difference between into and in. That into, when something is surrounded by something, but when something is going in motion. In shows rest, into say he jumped into the river. He jumped into the river. So into shows motion, in shows rest. These are prepositions, and prepositions are many more. At, who is knocking at the door, and I am at the cinema. Conjunction. Which joins the sentences. Conjunctions mean the words which joins, the word which join the sentences is called conjunction. Suppose if I say he is a good student, and second sentence is he is a good player. So we can join these two sentences into one sentence. कि he is a good student. Here we will put the conjunction here that he is a good student as well as a good player. So he is a good student as well as, so as well as is conjunction here. If I say he is a rich, he is a miser. People expect that the people who have a lot of wealth, maybe he is a generous, but this is opposite the expectation, so we can say that he is a rich but a miser. But is conjunction here. And when something is against, say same is the case, he worked hard, he failed. Mean he worked hard but he failed. So these are conjunctions. And another thing is interjection. Which expresses some type of feeling, is called interjection. And feelings may be happy, sad, wonder, surprise. And we will put in mark here that suppose you say the expression of happiness, that hurrah, we have won the match, and alas, his father is died, and what a beautiful flower is this. And these are interjection. So I want to revise all these things. Here, that student, this is your functional English class. And in functional English, we talk about prescriptive grammar and descriptive grammar also. And after that, we have studied that environment and brought up is very important in learning a language. Then we studied about parts of speech, and parts of speech is noun, and noun is the name of person, place or thing. It is a naming word. Pronoun, pronoun is a word which used instead of noun. Verb which shows the action. Adverb means which gives us more information about verb. And conjunction which joins two sentences. Interjection which gives us some expression of feeling. So, and adjective which gives us more information about noun. He is a lucky person, he is a tall person. So these are the first lecture of functional English. So I think these are things are crystal clear for you. If there will be no any type of confusion for you people, because I have given you each and every type of examples, and I have elaborated each type of thing, and I have illustrated each type of thing, and inshallah we will start next lecture. Till that, thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.